Hello and welcome to Bottleship with our friends the Jifflings. If you enjoy the show, please leave a review and share the podcast with your friends. And stay tuned to the end of the show when the Jifflings will read out some of your reviews. And now it's time for today's episode, The Magician's Wand. In your world, things are important. But what about the things that aren't important anymore? Well, sometimes those things end up here in the magical land of Dilstonia, where the Jifflings live on their little Jiffling ship. They find these things that we throw away and fish them out of their sea so they can recycle them and put them to good use once again. And here they are now, ready to work. Eccentric young pumpkin.
Oh, I'm ever so excited.
The Hedge, who was a very lazy Jiffling.
Like, hey man, is it time for bed yet?
Miss Katy, who loves fixing things and dressing up. Sometimes I like both together. Albert, the ship's gardener.
Hey, who's been into me cabbage patch like?
And Friedeline, a very sensible Jiffling who looks after everybody on the ship.
Yeah, that is correct. Oh.
Today on the ship, the Jifflings have been mopping the deck. And as their ship is as big as your imagination, that really is a lot of mopping.
Oh.
But as always, they had done a fantastic job. So now it was time for a little celebration. Yay!
Yeah. Ooh, why don't we have a jumping on the bed contest? I can jump very high.
Yes, Pumpkin, but the last time you jumped on the bed, you accidentally tumbled into Albert's pot plants and flopped onto the floor like a big bowl of spaghetti.
Oh yes, I did. What a ninny. Why don't we have a Jifflin disco and we can all play our favourite party music. Mine goes, Jiff, Jiffy, Jiff, Jiff, Jifflin. That's like a great idea, man. And my favourite is Jiffling rock and roll. Oh, and I love the Jiffling waltz. And also the tango. Oh, and my favourite is all music, including everything.
Yes, it is, young Pumpkin. But one Jiffling liked dancing even more. And that Jiff was Miss Katy, who had already raised up the Jiffling disco ball in the middle of their makeshift dance floor and grabbed their Jiffling record player proudly. Well, since I'm the best dancer, I'll start by doing a special Jiffling's jig. And with that, Miss Katy started the music and began leaping around, kicking her legs up very high and fast, just like a real Irish dancer. When the song came to an end, everyone clapped and Miss Katy curtsied. But when the other Jifflings went to climb up onto the dance floor, Miss Katy stopped them in their tracks. I think I should probably do just one more dance so you can all see how dancing looks when it's done really well.
But I would like to do the delicate stomp und splatzer and slap the soles of my shoes.
Oh, I can do one of those, Friedeline. That's just like a modest dance. Watch! And without asking, Miss Katy changed the music to a jolly Jiffling folk song, and she hopped and trotted around the stage as she showed off her impressive dance skills. And when the music stopped, the other Jifflings got ready for their turn on the dance floor.
Hey, well done, Miss Katy. That's 2 dancey dances for you. So now it's time we all have a little dance too. Ooh, yes, please. I'd like to do some tumbly spins and maybe even a splattery plonk.
No, Pumpkin. I'm doing real dancing. There's no splattery plonks in real dancing. I think you need to watch me one more time so you don't get your dances wrong. Okay.
But shouldn't we all get a turn at dancing? Yeah, 'cause like Jiffs just wanna have fun, man.
Oh dear, That sound meant that an object had been lost or thrown away on Earth, and now it was in the sea around their ship. All the Jifflings knew they would have to wait for their disco, as they needed everyone's help to heave the object in. The object landed onto deck with a clippity-clop. It was mostly black, with a little white glittery tip.
Like, I think that's a pudding mixer for mixing all the pudding before it goes into my tummy.
Then Albert stepped towards the story seat, for he knew exactly what the object was. He jambled up joyfully and then snuggled down to tell his tale.
Well, this is the magician's wand, and my old hairdresser, Roy Mullet, told me all about it. Long ago, there was a grand medieval court where a very important king lived called Tony. King Tony was known for being incredibly jolly and lots of fun. And so in his court, he had jesters and musicians and entertainers of all kinds. And one of his performers was a rather excitable magician called Hugh, who would wave his magic wand and do incredible tricks for everyone. Lickety-split, splickety-splat, make a rabbit come out of my hat. Ha! And out popped a big white fluffy rabbit. Woo! And Hugh the magician felt very proud. So, every day, King Tony demanded entertainment. And every day, Hugh the magician jumped excitedly up onto stage. But after a while, Hugh found that if he wasn't on stage performing, he didn't feel quite as special. And so instead of admiring the skills of the other entertainers, Hugh was only ever thinking about when it would be his turn again. Even when his friend Gwen the juggler was performing.
Look, Hugh, I'm juggling a delicious selection of fruit. Isn't it great?
Well, yes, I suppose so, Gwen. But you couldn't hurry it along, could you? I think the kingy prefers magic, you know. Well, actually, I do like jugglers, said the king, and fruit. Come, let us have more fruit juggling, Gwen. Then Hugh the magician was so frustrated at waiting that he just couldn't contain his excitement anymore. So, without thinking, he leapt up in front of Gwen and waved his wand around wildly above his head. Hoppity-hoo, hippity-hey, here comes the biggest magic trick of the day. And all of a sudden, the king disappeared. Oh.
Hugh, what have you done? Where's the king?
Oh, well, I'm terribly sorry about that. Hold on a second, I'll see if I can bring him back. So Hugh the magician waved his wand this way and that, but try as he might, he just couldn't bring the king back. Then Hugh felt bad, because if he hadn't been showing off as much and let everybody have a turn, they could all still be having fun, performing for their jolly king. But now, all the entertainers left the court because there just wasn't any point performing to an empty throne. So Hugh put down his magic wand because now it reminded him of how his silly showing off had spoiled the fun for everyone. And now the magic wand is here in Dilstonia.
Yes, Jiffs. So now it's time for you to find a new use for it.
Ooh, I think we should use it as a magical rolling pin to make lovely wizardy cakes and pies.
But then Miss Katy stepped forwards, for she had an extra special idea that everyone could enjoy. Why don't we use the magician's wand as a big maypole? I'll tie some of my special hair ribbons to it, and then we can all dance around it together, and everyone can enjoy our special Jiffling disco. Ah, Miss Katy, what a fantastic solution. And so, all the Jiffs hoisted up their special new maypole in the middle of the dance floor. And soon, they were all skipping around it, weaving in and out, and having a great time together. And after a long evening of dancing, everyone soon found they had super tired feet. And so they popped on their slippers, and then it was time for bed. Good night, young pumpkin.
Good night.
Good night, Albert.
Hey, I'll see you in the morning, like.
Good night, Friedeline.
And it is a good night. Yeah.
Good night, Miss Katy. Night-night. Good night, Hedge. Hedge? Oh, I think the hedge is asleep already. And goodbye to you too, wherever you are. Maybe next time you see a thing that you might throw away, you'll stop and see if you can use it again, just like our friends the Jifflings. And maybe the thing you use again will have a story to tell too. Goodbye. Thank you for listening to Bottleship. For all the parents listening, if you'd like to, you can donate to the show at patreon.com/Bottleship. And as a thank you, we'll send your child a personalised audio message from the Jifflings. And for all the children listening, if you enjoyed the show, please leave a review and share the podcast with your friends. We've had some lovely reviews this week, haven't we, Jifflings? Yeah, like this one from Isla in London. It says, "Dear Jifflings, I love your episodes. My favourite character is Miss Katy because she likes dressing up and I like dressing up too. My favourite episode is the tiara because I like shiny things. I'd like a story about a hairband because maybe you could do something useful and exciting with it. We listen every night. Thank you. Goodbye, Jifflings."
Well, that is a very special review, Isla. Thank you very much. Ja, und we have this one from Tallulah Tabby Vampire Cat in America. It says, "This podcast is awesome. The creativeness in each story makes it so fun. And now I always make sure to see if I can reuse something before I throw it away." Oh, thank you very much, Tallulah Tabby Vampire Cat. What an amazing review. And what an amazing name, too.
Thank you very much for sending us your review. And thank you to everyone who got in touch.
We really do love to hear from you all.
That's right. And if you'd like to send us an email, please send it to thejifflings@gmail.com. Also, if you like listening to stories, why not check out our sister podcast, Storytime, for children of all ages. Thanks again, and we'll bring you more exciting adventures with our friends the Jifflings very soon. Goodbye.